giving all praises to the Most High God. And we do so in the name of his begotten Son, who he sent for us to be a living sacrifice, to show how to love and treat each other, and to show us how to praise and serve our God with the best of our ability. Who are we? We are the Hebrew Israelites, God's chosen children. And to the Black, Hispanics, and Native Americans, we have been living completely contrary to the Most High commandments that was only given to us. And the universe that we live in, this structure, this government, is actually set up to keep us doing everything contrary to those commandments, because they know, long as you live in sin, you are abandoned from your power, and you will never return to your rulership of being kings and queens of this universe. This universe was created for us. And we come out here unapologetically every single Sabbath day to tell y'all that we are the real Jews that this Bible speaks of.
That's right.
And even on so-called Juneteenth, oh my goodness, so-called Juneteenth. Hey, listen, man. If y'all haven't figured it out by now, we're not free. We have never been free. And if this day was so important, why did it take them from 1865 all the way until just yesterday to make it a federal legal holiday? Why wasn't this day considered when they established Black History Month? That's what I want to know. And even the Emancipation Proclamation did not free all slaves immediately anyways. Slavery was never, ever abolished. It was just redesigned. They just remixed it. We are now structural and financial slaves. We are under financial and systematic oppression. Yes, we're free from the yokes of iron and the whips, but realistically, we're still slaves. We're called cash cows. They consider us cash cows. And until we're not paying for natural resources like water, we're still slaves. Look at their Constitution. The Constitution says we're considered 3/5 of a person. So until the Constitution don't say that, we are still slaves. I don't care what job you got. I don't care how much money you got. I don't care what you think. If we're still paying for natural resources such as water, we are still slaves in this country. This country has never gave us anything beneficial without some type of underlying agenda. And I don't know if y'all listen to y'all so-called president that y'all was so thirsty to vote for. Joe Biden stood up there when he signed the paper to make Juneteenth a federal holiday. What did he say? Oh, yeah, to all Americans, we're going to celebrate Juneteenth as the freemen of the slaves, and we're going to celebrate this day together. Go get vaccinated. The agenda they're pushing is vaccination, and they got the nerve to try to use Juneteenth as a cover-up. Oh, y'all didn't watch the news, the press conference? That man got up there, said, yeah, I'm legalizing Juneteenth, and then start talking about the vaccine. They want y'all to be vaccinated. They're giving y'all lottery tickets. They're giving y'all money. You get college tuition. You get free donuts, free meals, and even a lap dance from a vaccinated stripper if you took the vaccine. I don't know what make-believe play pretend universe y'all live in, but until we have freedom to leave this country without permission, until we don't have to rely on our enemies for resources such as water and electricity, we are still slaves in the United States of America. Bring this out. Bring it out. Proverbs 27 and 5. Let's get busy. Shalom, sister. How you doing? All praise. Let's get it.
This is the book of Proverbs, chapter 27, verse 5. Open rebuke is better than secret love.
See, open rebuke is better than secret love, because somebody who truly loves you will tell you that you're being taken advantage of. And somebody who don't like rebuke, they're going to deny or try to stop somebody from telling them anything that could correct their path, man. That's why open rebuke is better than secret love. I'd rather somebody tell me the truth, even if it hurt me, than to play pretend willingly destroyed. And that's our entire existence in this place. We are willingly destroyed. We love to just be at the bottom with no type of resources, no type of will to do for ourselves. We've been eating out of people's pocket ever since we got over here. Ever since we got over here, we've been working for people. Hey, they said the wealth cap in this country for black people is $17,000, and for so-called white people, it's $100,000. Now, I got a question for y'all. How y'all think we got to that point? Who do you think helped them get that large gap of $90,000 between medium home income? Oh, the so-called people that punch in the clocks and work? Yeah, we the ones that got them all that money. They make trillions of dollars and pay you by the hour. I don't care what job you got. You ain't getting what they get. We still in captivity. Bring this up. Lamentations 1:18.
All this make-believe stuff, man.
They ain't never gave y'all nothing, man. Look up the history. And as a matter of fact, even after 1865, they passed Jim Crow laws. Y'all call that freedom? You call that freedom? All that segregation, Jim Crow, they did that right after 1865. What freedom? What freedom? We ain't free. Yeah, we free from physical bondage, but spiritual captivity, we are nowhere near being free. Read.
This is the book of Lamentations, chapter 1, verse 18.
Bring it up.
The Lord is righteous, for I have rebelled against his commandments. Hear, I pray you, Hear, I pray you, all people, and behold, my sorrow, my virgins, and my young men are gone into captivity.
Hey, and that's the whole entire reason why we even down here. Because the Lord is righteous. He gave us straight commandments to avoid punishment, and we didn't follow them at all. And that's the only reason why we dealing with the things we dealing with today. The only reason. And sadly, we're comfortable. But we'll call each other king, queen, 24/7. Don't y'all know kings and queens were rich, were moral, were not punching in clocks? Let me say that again. Kings and queens didn't punch clocks. They ain't clock in for nobody. They ain't have to ask for a 2-week notice before they made some more money, or ask for personal sick time. Kings and queens didn't have to do that. But we call ourselves kings and queens, still eating out of people's pocket that hate us. Make it make sense. It don't. Read.
This is the book of Baruch, chapter 3, verse 8.
Bring it up.
Behold, we are yet this day in our captivity, where thou hast scattered us, for a reproach and a curse, and to be subjected to payments.
And to be subjected to payments. We are scattered. If you notice, every single place you go is somebody that looks just like us right here, and we are scattered for reapproach. That means correction. And to be subject to payments. Water bill, gas bill, car note, taxes. First of all, you take taxes out your check, right? Then you gotta pay the tax, for the tax, with the tax, because of the tax. They charge you tax for every single suburb you drive through, man. Taxes, you are being taxed, man. Tax ain't nothing but extra money, man. And sadly, our taxes don't even pay nothing in our environment. The so-called white man, he paid taxes to upkeep the country. We pay taxes to upkeep the white people. Disgusting, man. And meanwhile, where you live at, still awful, still disgusting, still potholes. We got no potholes, the street lights. There's a pothole right here. If I don't be careful, I'll bust my face open. Oh, but we all gotta pay taxes. Hey man, this place is truly disgusting, man. We're still, give me Deuteronomy 28 and 15. You give me Deuteronomy 30, read verse 3 first. Because the Most High God said we will only deal with, hey, Shalom, brother. Hey, brother. Shalom. Hey, what's your nationality, brother?
India.
You from India? What, Elam? Elam? Elam, okay, well, Elam, let me tell you something, right? You going into slavery, thus saith the Lord. Because you have a hand in our captivity. You know what I'm saying? Do you understand that? Okay, cool. So go tell your homie in there to get ready for slavery too.
That's right.
You understand me?
You know that? You
didn't know that?
No, I didn't.
Okay, that's cool. Listen, so y'all had a hand in our, what was it? The sub-Saharan captivity? Yeah. The Persian captivity. Y'all had a hand in our captivity. Y'all helped these white people get us bondage, and y'all pretty much sold us over here. Y'all had a hand in that. Y'all know that, right? So guess what happened for that? Since you did that, wait, now cut that. Give me Revelation. Y'all got that too. Give me Revelations 13 and 10 real quick. We'll just cut to the chase. Because, hey, guess what, right? Do I need the Bible to tell you that karma is real? And that what goes around, it comes around? Your forefathers led my forefathers into slavery. So therefore, when the kingdom comes, you guys go in slavery. You understand that?
That's right.
Okay, well, if you don't understand, I'm about to read it. Start at verse 9, another one.
This is the book of Revelations, chapter
13,
verse 9.
Bring it out.
If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
So, therefore, Elam, with you, the so-called Chinese man, the so-called Arab, the so-called white man, the so-called African, all y'all going into slavery for what y'all did to us, man.
Thus saith the Lord.
Thus saith the Lord. Wait, not me up here with the microphone. Thus saith the Lord. Bring it on.
That's right.
Here is the patience and the faith of the saints.
And that's the most important part. Excuse me, the more important part is that we know that it's going to happen, and that's the faith and the patience of the saints. This is why we could come out here and put this word out with joyfulness and gladness. Even though people hate us for doing it, we don't care because we know how this place going in. So I just said that to say, brother, get ready for captivity. All right? Give me Deuteronomy 20. Give me Deuteronomy 28 and 15. Give me Deuteronomy 30 and 3. Because the Most High God said we will struggle until we return back to the law, statutes, and commandments. And the second we do it, as a nation of people, the second we do it, the so-called people that brought us over here in slavery, they're going to be faced with the same exact curses that we're facing right now. Single parent household. Matter of fact, let's read that real quick. 15.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15. But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
Okay, so the Lord told the children of Israel, if you did not follow my commandments, my laws, my statutes, and my judgments, you, who used to be the rulers of the universe, will be subjected to curses, and you're going to be destroyed. And what I can say to y'all is, this was in the Bible the whole time. Anything you think that's wrong with us as a nation of people, single parent household, black on black crime, worse resources, not being able to keep a job, or slave masters having way more money than us, parents hating their daughters, parents hating their kids, us coming over here in the first place in slavery. Anything that you think is wrong with our people was already documented in Deuteronomy chapter 28. So until it's the so-called white man going through these same exact curses, we're not free. And I'm going to prove what I just said. Bring that up. Deuteronomy 33.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 30, verse 3. That then the Lord thy God will turn thy captivity and have compassion upon thee, and will return and gather thee from all nations, whether the Lord thy God hath scattered thee.
Read verse 7.
And the Lord thy God will put these curses upon thy enemy.
He's going to put the same curses that we're going through, all this trauma, all this shooting up each other, all this lack of education, all these lack of resources, all this just whatever you think black people got problems, the same exact stuff we're going through, right, he going into captivity too. Read verse 7 again from the top.
And the Lord thy God will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hated thee, which persecuted thee. And thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Lord, and do all his commandments, which I command thee this day. And the Lord thy God will make thee. And thou shalt return and obey the voice of the Lord, and do all his commandments, which I command thee this day.
So the Most High God said, once we do what we're supposed to do as people,
Give me Isaiah 14:1.
once we do the things that we're supposed to do as people, following the 613 commandments, he's going to take us from this impoverishment and he's going to set us back up in rulership. Hey sisters, y'all ready? Are y'all ready to go back into rulership and rule the universe?
God bless you. Goodbye.
Okay, God bless me. You want to be a slave. You like slavery. Okay. Well, I don't like slavery. I don't like oppression. I don't like being last. I don't like, and why is it if I travel anywhere from LA to Maine, from Florida to Oregon, everybody that look like me is in the projects or in the worst parts of the city? And until we follow these commandments, that's how it's going to be. But the Lord is gracious. The Lord is righteous. He said, yes, I'm going to curse you for your disobedience. But as soon as you get right, how you supposed to be, I'm going to set you back up where you were before anything happened. Kings and queens ruling this universe. The Lord made the world for our sake. We ain't supposed to be at the bottom serving nobody. You understand that, brother? Give me that Isaiah 14:1.
Shalom, sister. How you doing?
This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 14, verse 1. For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them.
What goes around comes around. I ain't need the Bible to tell you that. Read.
And they shall cleave to the house of Jacob, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place. And the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids.
See, we were brought over here in bondage as servants and handmaids because we didn't keep the commandments. When we start keeping the commandments, the so-called white man, the so-called African, the so-called Elam, the so-called Arab, the so-called Japanese man are going into slavery for bondman and bondwoman. Thus saith the Lord, the Most High Yahweh. Bring it up.
And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors.
Simply stated. And that's just karma. What goes around comes around, man. And I don't need the Bible to tell you that karma is real. That's a natural energy. You should be able to feel that without even reading the Bible. That's natural. Give me that. Three and eight. You know, so now we understand the whole reason why we're even in this position as people. What do we have to do? Give me Deuteronomy 10 and 12. How we got here. What do we have to do to reverse this, man? I don't know about y'all, but I don't like being at the bottom. I know even before I was ever reading the Bible, I knew I could feel that I was one of the best men on earth, that I represented the best men on earth. We were created for that. But yet, why are we suffering the most? Because we are not obeying the commandments of the Father, and we were the only people he gave them to. He didn't give commandments to the whole universe. He gave commandments to his chosen people. That's the reason why only we can sin as people. That's the only reason why only we can sin. Everybody else can't sin. His chosen people are the only people that are capable of sinning. Why? Because we were the only people given the law. Romans 9 and 4. Okay?
Give me that.
Give this.
This is the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 10 and verse 12. And now, Israel, what doeth the Lord thy God require of thee? But to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thy heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments of the Lord and his statutes, which I command thee this day for thy good.
And see, there it is right there. We ain't stood up here and said nothing different the whole entire time we've been out here. We're suffering at the bottom because we don't want to obey the commandments. Give me 2 Chronicles 7 and 14. We're suffering, going through daily trauma. Hey, everybody want to know, when is Christ coming back to save us? Well, I got news for you. He's not coming back until we do what we're supposed to do. He's actually waiting on us. He's been waiting on us forever. The second we start keeping these commandments as a nation, he's going to redeem us out this place, man. Y'all got to believe that, man. Bring that up.
This is the book of 2 Chronicles, chapter 7, verse 14. If my people, which are called by my name, shall humble themselves and pray and seek my face and turn from their wicked ways, then will I hear from heaven and will forgive their sin and will heal their land.
So the Most High God saying, if the people which are called by my name, being his chosen people, the 12 tribes, shall humble themselves, then he's going to hear our prayers and he's going to redeem us from this situation. Who don't like that? He's going to redeem us from this captivity. And the key word in that verse is humble ourselves. Because a lot of us really don't think that we are still slaves. Y'all think slavery as, oh, whip, chain, yoke of iron. No, slavery is you eating out of somebody's pocket that don't like you, and you pennies off trillions. Like I said in the beginning, they have a $90,000 wealth gap in between us. Who helped them get that much money? Shalom, sister. Who helped them get that much money? The so-called black Hispanics and Native Americans punching in the clock for them. We helped them get all that money. They'll never tell you that. You just got to see it for what it is. Humble themselves. Who there can say we're still not slaves right now and we don't own nothing? We don't own nothing, and not only that, we can't even put our money together. We're still slaves mentally. We can't put our money together. Hey, check this out. In 1921, right? Let's think realistically. In Tulsa, Oklahoma, that's when they decided to bomb us, right? But it was less technology. It was less resources. Only thing we had back then was more love for ourselves. And those people 100 years ago was able to put their money together and build up their community. Now fast forward 100 years later in 2021. We got technology, we got more resources, and we know the truth. We still can't come together and put our money together for the better good of nothing. So if you don't think we still under these curses, I'll pray for you, man. I'm gonna just have to pray for you. You know, I got a friend in LA making $100,000 as a computer engineer, software engineer, $100,000 in LA, and he just quit his job. And he quit his job because he realized the so-called people who he was working for, getting the contracts, was collecting millions of dollars and only paying him $100,000. Oh, don't think, oh, just McDonald's, Burger King, oh, that's just working for minimum wage and slavery. No, no matter what you do, that man got $100,000 and said he's quitting because he's being underpaid and he's doing all the work. What that sound like? Slavery. Hey, listen, man. These people gonna get you one way or another, man. Shalom, brother. How you doing? Give me, what's that? Give me Jeremiah 29 and 12. Jeremiah 29 and 12. Because y'all got to understand, right? The Most High God put us in these conditions, right? He put us here. And then he told us it's a way you get out of here if you're willing to do so. And if you ain't willing to do so, things are only going to get worse. And that's what we see every day, man. We got kids killing senior citizens. Back in back in the old days, you're supposed to respect your elders. We killing our elders now. Hey, we way past respect. Hey, you used to didn't want to even cuss in front of your elders. Now you kill them with a gun. Now you see the transition? Come on, man, we destroyed. And the Most High God gave us the code. He gave us the blueprint on how to reverse it. But unfortunately, only some of us care, man. And that's the problem. That's the problem right there, man. Bring that up, man.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 29, verse 12. Then shall ye call upon me, and ye shall go and pray unto me, and I will hearken unto you. And ye shall seek me and find me, when ye shall search for me with all your heart. And I will be found of you, saith the Lord. And I will turn away your captivity, and will gather you from all the nations, and from all the places whither I driven you, saith the Lord. And I will bring you again into the place whence I caused you to be carried away into captivity.
Oh my goodness. The Most High God said, when you seek me, once you're doing the things that you're supposed to do, when you call unto me, I'm going to rescue you out this place, man. But you got to keep my commandments. You got to keep my commandments. Why is it that people that don't even read this book is telling us we ain't got to keep the commandments? Telling us Christ died, so you ain't got to do the commandments? What's wrong with doing what God said? That's just what I'm trying to get to the bottom to. What can you possibly lose by doing anything God said? Give me Joshua 1:8. What can you possibly lose by doing anything God wants you to do? Shalom. Oh no, baby, we don't celebrate Juneteenth. We're still slaves. We are still slaves in captivity. No happy Juneteenth up here. Because we still making racist people rich. And until we're not, we're still in captivity. That's the reason why. That's the reason why. And guess what? Until we not all in the hood, from LA to Maine, from Florida to Oregon, when we all not in the projects and suffering, we still in captivity.
That's right.
Until we not paying water bills, we're still in captivity. Until you can get your own resources for your own business and not pay taxes, we are still in captivity. When you're still punching the clock, working for somebody, eating out of their pocket, you are still in captivity. When you need permission to leave the country, you are in captivity. Ain't no happy Juneteenth. They waited all the way to 2021 to make it a real holiday now all of a sudden. Man, that just made me sick. Let me stay on track. Let me focus. Because I was on the Most High God, what he'll do for you if you'll listen to him. What he'll do for you if you listen to him. Bring it up. Joshua 1:8. Because we think it's a crime. We think it's a crime to actually do right. And that's what the book say. And Jeremiah say, my people are quick to do evil, but to do good we have no knowledge of it. It's almost like we programmed to be wicked. But the earth is given to the hand of the wicked. So we understand why that is. But what are you going to do about it, so-called black man, black woman, to reverse the conditions? Y'all want to hand this universe, this current world down to children? Y'all want to hand this down to some kids? I'm scared to have kids in a place like this, man. The Most High God is righteous. We live in an evil, wicked universe, and until we do different and stop serving other gods and stop willingly breaking the commandments, like right now, all of our people out here shopping, telling me happy Sabbath day, but then happy Juneteenth. No, excuse me, they telling me happy Juneteenth, but then breaking the Sabbath day. Helping the white man further our affliction by keeping us in captivity. The Most High God got keys to the kingdom, and he's trying to give them to his chosen people. Read this.
This is the book of Joshua, chapter 1, verse 8. This book of law shall not depart out of thy mouth.
The book of the law, this book, this Bible, shall not depart out of your mouth. Read.
But thou shalt meditate therein day and night.
Meditate day in and day out, man. Hold yourself accountable. Read this book. Learn about the people that came before you, your ancestors. Learn about what the Most High God required from our people and actually do it. Read.
That thou
No, not some of it. Hold yourself accountable to doing all of it. Yeah, you ain't going to be perfect, but guess what? You can be. The Lord told us don't be over righteous, just don't be over wicked. But control the things you can control. Some sins are way easier to get over than most. I understand that. If you weren't doing something before you knew the truth, you ain't going to have no problem. But the things you got to hold yourself accountable to, that's where the word come in. That's that faith with the work you're supposed to be showing. Read.
For then thou shalt not make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success.
The Lord said, if you do what I say, and this evil kingdom that he set up, that we see evil 24/7, if you do what I want you to do, you're going to have good success. You're going to be prosperous. The book of Psalms 112 say, blessed is he that follow the commandments, and wealth and riches will be in that man's house for doing what the Lord said. And everything that the Lord wants us to do is contrary to everything we're doing in this country. We never knew we were supposed to follow the commandments because nobody never told us. Because the commandments is how we return back to the Father. Not following the commandments is going to keep us in conditions like this. Starving, struggling, wondering why. Wondering when it's going to get better. It ain't going to never get better. Y'all better read this book for what it say. Until y'all open this book and read it. So, see, that's why the Bible say, the Bible actually say we ought to obey God rather than men. Y'all listening to a man that don't even read the Bible. And that's called a pastor. Y'all not listening. Y'all not actually reading the book for yourself. Y'all listening to somebody who care more about $1 than whether or not you got a relationship with God. What you got? Bring it up.
This is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 5, verse 17. Think not that I come to destroy the law or the prophets. I am not come to destroy, but to fulfill.
And see, I'm glad Brother Marshall just brought this up because the goofy pastors in church, shalom sister, the goofy pastors in church always try to use Christ as a cop-out to why you ain't got to keep the law. Read 18.
For verily I say unto you, till heaven and earth pass, one jot or one tittle shall in no wise pass from the law, till all be fulfilled.
See, they always try to use Christ as a cop-out, but they never tell you what Christ actually said. What did he say? Oh, I ain't going to keep the law because Christ. No, but what did Christ say himself? Did he say the law is going to? No. He never said that. Red letters in the Bible tell you exactly what Christ said, and Christ kept the law. So why you being down here with us, we ain't got to do what God said. And even Christ did what God said, man. Y'all got to relax, man. Y'all lead yourself straight to the, man. Give me, let me see. Give me Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. This stuff is crazy. The most you got to go ahead. You got some more. Go ahead.
This is the book of St. Matthew, chapter 5, verse 19. Whosoever therefore shall break one of these least commandments and shall teach men so, he shall be called the least in the kingdom of heaven.
Oh my goodness. Whoever shall break one of the least of the commandments and teach men that it's okay to do so, you're going to be called least in the kingdom. Read.
But whosoever shall do and teach them, the same shall be called great in the kingdom of heaven.
If you come out here and teach the word and tell people in this wicked kingdom that got us distracted thinking we don't got to do what God says for some odd reason, you're going to be called the greatest in the kingdom. Now, my question to anybody watching, anybody listening, when y'all gonna come up here and put this work in? Bring the truth out. Tell our people the truth. That's why we see so much crime, so much violence, because nobody is telling us the truth as it pertains to the Bible. And the reason why they tell you you don't got to is because if you knew you had to keep the law to make God happy, you will hold yourself accountable. But our people don't want to be held accountable, especially our women. You can't tell them the truth without an argument. Hey, man. Hey, listen, man. He think that money. He's laughing down there. And listen, man, we got stuff to do, man. And until we do it, what you see, we live trauma. Until you're ready to stop living in trauma, you might want to keep these commandments, man. All right? Give me that Ecclesiastes 12 and 13. You got it?
This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 12, verse 13. Let us hear the conclusion of the whole matter. Fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
That's the whole reason why you created down here. To serve God, to keep his commandments, and to be a reflection of the Most High God and the evil, wicked universe that he set up for our discernment, to detach from them and to return back to him. How beautiful is that, man? You like that, brother? That sound good to you, brother? Hey, brother, go get you a Bible, a King James Bible. The 613 commandments are the first 5 books of the Bible. And everything God wants you to do. Dietary law, your civil law, a moral law, a celebratory law, how you're supposed to love and treat your brother, everything. And the reason why we so destroyed things is because we never knew nobody's telling us this stuff.
I'm from Iraq.
Are you from Iraq? You from over there?
No, I'm a soldier.
You a soldier?
Yeah.
Hey, so wait. Hey, so respect me, brother.
Always.
Respect me. No. Listen, let me ask you a question, right? Why did you feel the right to go fight for a country that won't even fight for you, right?
I was opposed to.
Oh, you was. Oh, you know what? Yeah, back then they did use the draft us back then.
Yeah.
Okay, no, that's right. And then exactly, use the draft back then, draft you back then, and if you refuse, I would come here though. I would come back though. See, back then, if you refuse to serve, they just lock you up. You know what I'm saying? And so I do understand that. Okay, so that may or not be your fault. But now I got to say something about this cross on your neck, right? You know what that represents?
I'm non-violent.
You non-violent?
Yeah.
Okay, but the people who put Christ on that cross was very violent. Did you know that?
Oh, man.
It was very violent, right?
I mean, that's because they are the demons.
Okay, so check this out. So we know God, when Christ supposedly died on the cross, right?
And it ain't the white man, it's Jesus.
No, of course, yeah. I'm asking you a question, right? I'm asking you a question, right? Well, actually, we do know what color Christ is. He's actually this color right here, and that's Revelations 1 and 14. He don't look like this bastard right here that they try to force on you. That's what I'm trying to say. All right, so look, so my thing is, right, if you knew, okay, but if you knew, right, that's wonderful. So if you knew that Christ actually died on the cross, right? Okay, how about this? Let's say if, hypothetically speaking, just hypothetically, right? No, listen to me. Listen to me, right? If I was to take a knife, right, and stab one of your family members, kill him, right? Would you then go buy a knife? I mean, would you then put that knife on your neck that I used to kill your family member with?
No.
So then why would you hang a cross on your neck?
Because I want to keep the devil away from me.
No, that's actually bringing them closer to you. hey, it's actually the opposite. You know what I'm saying? You actually attracted a demon to you because it was the demons who did that. You got to get you a look. You see this right? No matter of fact, let's bring that up right now. Listen, right? When they describe what Christ looked like in the Bible, he had this in his hand right here. This is called a menorah. The 7 candle golden sticks. Let's bring that up for the brother. Let's bring that up.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 1, verse 12. And I turned to see the voice that spake with me. And being turned, I saw 7 golden candlesticks.
How many is this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, read.
And in the midst of the 7 candlesticks, one like unto the Son of Man, clothed with a garment down to the foot, and girt about the pates with a golden girdle. His head, verse 14, his head and his hairs were white like wool, as white as snow, and his eyes were as the flame of fire.
Hey, wait, notice he didn't say Christ had blue eyes. He said his eyes was red, flame of fire, being furious. upset. He is, and that's his image. That cross you got on your neck right there. Hey, listen, right? Hey, listen, right? Don't. Hey, if I was you,
I'm gonna take it off.
you gonna take it
I'm
off?
going home.
Okay, how about this? Take it off when you go home and throw it in the garbage.
I will do it.
Throw it away. And matter of fact, it's a garbage can right there. You can throw it away right now. You know what I'm saying? Hey, but listen, brother, get you one of these. Get you a menorah on your neck. Okay?
No, I'm gonna do that too. I'm
Okay.
gonna go to my house and take it off.
Okay, so next Shabbat, I better not see you out here with that cross on you.
Oh, no, man.
Okay,
No.
okay, now keep moving.
Man, I'm all
Verse 15. And its feet like unto fine brass,
Speak when like you fine brass. Read,
as if they burned in the furnace.
So listen, his feet was brass as if they burnt in the furnace. Now people try to say, oh, but brass can be at the negative and yellow. But if you burn any color, the key word is burn. If you burn the color white, it's going to turn black. Read.
And its voice as the sound as many waters.
Voice of sound of many waters. So you walking around, he taking it off right now, but I gotta let him understand the reason why. And first of all, brothers, it's like, let's give him a hand, man. Let's give him a hand. Because so many of our people come up here and argue with us as if we don't know or understand what it is. Christ didn't have a cross in his hand. Oh wait, and matter of fact, the book of Acts said they hung him from a tree, a noose. They actually hung him from a tree. Where do you think white people got so infatuated with hanging us from trees from? They got it from a tree. Hey, wait, keep the chain. Oh, no, keep the chain. That's a nice chain. Throw the piece away. Get you one of these, bro. Get you one of these. All praises, brother. All praises. All praises, brother. All praises. Hey, listen, right, to get you one of these, hey, brother, you the real Jew that the Bible speaks of. You the real Jew. And guess what, man? Because I know you coming up here with the Juneteenth. I was about to say, because I was going to say, the real Jews are in poverty. Because that's what Revelation 2 and 9 say. It say the real Jews are poor, in poverty. And the Jews that's living clean lives ain't poor. Read that.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 9. I know thy works in tribulation and poverty, but thou art rich.
He said, the Most High God said he knows our poverty and tribulation, but we are rich. Read.
And I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are the synagogue of Satan.
He said the real Jews are the synagogue of Satan. Excuse me, the fake Jews, the ones that call themselves Jews, are the synagogue of Satan. Huh? Read it again. 9. Let's get Revelation. Hey, Revelation 2 and 9, Revelation 3 and 9. Okay, come. Hey, sister. Hey, my sister. You didn't know? Jewish is fake. Now, ISH pertaining to meaning not the original, sort of kind of ish. Like if I tell you I'll be at your house at 4-ish, that don't mean 4 o'clock. That could mean 3:50. That could mean 4:15, 4:30. The ish. So it's like they always told us, but we just didn't know what they was talking about. Me and you are the Jews. These tribes of Israel that you see are the real Jews that the Bible speak of. And guess what? It was already written the whole time that the real Jews would be impoverished, and that the fake people that call themselves Jews are actually the synagogue of Satan. Now, who call themselves Jews? Now, what nation of people call themselves Jews? Have we ever called ourselves Jews in history? No, but it's a group of people that call themselves Jews. And those same people perpetuate the most evil in this universe. Ironically. Read that one more time.
This is the book of Revelation, chapter 2, verse 9. Check it out. I know thy works in tribulation, in poverty, but thou art rich. I know the blasphemy of
Blasphemy. The blasphemy means a lie, a wicked lie. Blasphemy. Blasphemous. Read.
Of them, I know the blasphemy of them which say they are Jews and are not, but are of the synagogue of Satan.
So the Lord said, I know the blasphemy of those who say they are Jews, but are not. But those people are the synagogue of Satan. But guess what? If you read something once You should be able to read it twice, and that's going to tell you it's the truth. Read this.
It's the book of Revelations, chapter 3, verse 9. Behold, I will make them the synagogue of Satan, which say they are Jews, and are not.
Whoa, read.
But do lie.
But do what?
But do lie.
No, they tell the truth.
But do lie.
And no, they is the truth.
But do lie.
No, we should wear kufis and go to bar mitzvah.
But do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, and to know that I have loved thee.
So he said that the fake Jews will realize who the real Jews are and come worship before our feet because they will realize that we were the real Jews this whole time. How you love that? How you love that? Shalom. And with that, Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah.
Kwam Yasharallah.
And Shamar HaMatazawah. Keep the commandments in ancient Hebrew. The so-called blacks, Hispanics, and Native Americans are the real Jews that the Bible speaks of.
That's right.
That's good.
Thank you. What's his name?